And as you can see it there, Tlaxtlan Soothsayer bringing the Lizardmen against RTK Vicioussatsuma and the Tomb Kings. This is round one of their best of three. And as a reminder, loser is gone from the tournament moving forward, and the winner will go up to face Falcon in the final bracket. So, starting with Tlaxtlan Soothsayer and the Lizardmen, let's take a look at this army. Now, for the infantry, which we'll start with, we're going to see Saurus warriors with shields. It looks like 4 of them. We're also, wait a minute, 5 of them. Am I going crazy, or is he just moving them around on me? Okay, so 5 Saurus warriors with shields. We're going to have a Saurus spear with shields over here on the right flank. Aside from that, we're going to have an ample supply of skink cohort for that chaff. So it looks like we have 1 here on the far right flank. Then we're going to have another on the left flank and 1 with javelins backing up the Saurus front line. Other than this, for the large units in the army and the leadership, it does appear we're going to have some Saurus Scarvet action. These guys will be riding cold ones and just bringing nothing but themselves, no abilities or anything like that. We're going to have some Croxagore right here. And then, last but never least, as far as the monsters go, we have a Feral Carnosaur, the big old puppy dog, ready to eat some, well, I guess not eat some Tomb Kings, but ready to chew on some bones. Now, for the leader, we have a Salon Mage Priest who just disappeared on me. I have discovered him again. It is him, Salon Mage Priest of Life. We're going to have Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Blood Statuette of Spite, as well as Aura of Quetzal. Then we have Earthblood and Greater Arcane Conduit, and that's going to be it on top of this Salon Mage Priest, so interesting picks. Then we do have some Skink Skirmishers, man-guarded on the right flank, and that's going to round out the Lizardmen army. For the Tomb Kings, looks like we do have some Great Bow with Ushabti up in the front, but going over the infantry, as usual, we're going to have Tomb Guard. Looks like 2 of them in the front line, 2 Tomb Guard with halberds backing them up. Then we're going to have a single skeleton spearman behind them. For the rest of the melee portion, we're going to have some Ushabti, just the regular old Ushabti. I kind of like this pick. Their mass should help slow down the dinos. The aforementioned Ushabti with Great Bow up here to start out the skirmishing. And then from here, let's keep going. So, got a Tomb Scorpion and a whole lot of archers. Now, looks like we have 4 skeleton archers, one of them being the Blessed Legion of Akath, that has the armor sundering on top of them. We have a Lich Priest of Life, I'm going to guess Net of a Mintok, and Biona's Time Warp, not something I see too often, and we do have the Curse of Char. Over here, Grand Hierophant Ketep, going to be on top of his Casket of Souls, going to have Naru's Incantation of Protection, the Curse, and that's going to be it. Now, for the rest of this army, I see just a single unit of Nehekara Horsemen, and that looks like it fleshes it out. So very light on the infantry power, good, strong firepower. They have a couple Ushabti to support, so I mean, they do have 4 units of Tomb Guard here, and the Ushabti should help out, but I am worried that Soothsayer's numbers may be a bit much as far as the infantry battle goes, but those Ushabti should trade well against the regular Saurus warriors with shields. Probably want to avoid the Saurus spears with shields, though. Oh, Casket of Souls getting a nice double hit there on top of Saurus warriors and some skink cohort with javelins. And, you know, so far the Tomb King's doing good chip damage with their artillery. Over here, Nehekara Horsemen coming in for a nice charge. Hitting those skink cohort hard. Blood Statuette of Spite is going down on top of the Nehekara Horsemen, though. They're going to turn around and run away, but they are taking some significant damage from that Blood Statuette of Spite. Over here, archers are opening up, and the Saurus warriors are really starting to feel the pain. Earthblood going down. The Tomb Scorpion is coming in to intercept as they dive into combat. And, oh, Terror Route kicking in already, and yeah, the Lizardmen right flank, though, is looking a lot stronger in terms of, you know, their infantry not taking as much damage. But now Tomb Guard and Ushabti diving into the Saurus Warriors. And I think they'll be okay in that combat, so we'll see what happens from here. Going to continue to see the Casket of Souls demolish Saurus Warriors. Nehekara Warriors going to dive into combat once again into the Saurus Warriors with shields and the Skink Cohort with javelins. We'll see what they end up doing. It looks like there's going to be some Skeleton Spearmen pushing forward to help block that advance from the Lizardmen. Alright, you can see the Lizardmen now at this point are just kind of doing a mad dash. Skink Cohort, Saurus Spears, all diving in to just get on top of the Tomb King firepower. That Banishment is doing a wonderful amount of work. One of these units getting completely deleted by it. And now look at that, the Tomb Guard with Halberds taking a ton of damage too. And that was painful, but the remaining Tomb Guard with Halberds have successfully gotten on top of the Kroxigor. So as long as they can stay in combat with them, they'll trade just fine. Skink Cohort continuing to pressure the flanks. And, you know, at this point, Soothsayer is starting to get his hand into the proverbial cookie jar and shut down a lot of the firepower here from the Tomb Kings. But will it be enough? You know, the Tomb Kings did a lot of damage on this right flank already. The balance of power is in their favor. But, of course, only time will tell. Feral Carnosaur having a good time, though, with this Tomb Scorpion. And that will be a very nice pickup for the Lizardmen indeed. Back here, Kroxigors are routing. Arab Quetzal's on top of them, but they're routing nonetheless. Saurus Warriors are wavering in their combat against the Tomb Guard as well as the Ushabti. And this fight is just turned into a big old melee engagement in the center, and it's really going to come down to if the Tomb Kings can rout off all these compromising units before the rest of the Lizardmen army finishes up here in the front, because I think the Lizardmen are slowly but surely bringing this battle in their favor. Tomb Scorpion has been killed by the Feral Carnosaur. And at this point, you know, things are going to be getting dicier by the second for the Tomb Kings. But Ushabti still hanging in there, still have some Tomb Guard and Tomb Guard with Halberd on the field, which is always beneficial. Kroxigor diving in to the Nehekara Horsemen, or vice versa. Can't really tell which, but I bet that will be the last engagement the Nehekara Horsemen are a part of. Once again, Saurus Scarvets and the Feral Carnosaurs come in here to play, and they are just destroying all of the Tomb King Ushabti, and it doesn't seem like the Tomb King ranged power is being able to put down enough pressure to shut down these lizards on the approach. However, as I say that, it looks like some Tomb Guard and Ushabti have gotten freed up from the left flank engagement, or coming back to the center to help out. Grand Hierophant of Ketep does have Naru's Incantation of Protection on him for 44% physical resistance, which I imagine is helping him quite a lot right now. But he's not running towards allies, and if he gets hit a couple more times, especially once that spell runs out, he'll go down in a hurry. And oh man, a big hit right there, and the Lizardmen look like they're pulling this out of the hat and are going to be bringing a victory home here in spite of a very strong initial start from the Tomb Kings. But there goes Grand Hierophant Ketep. He is gone for good. Another banishment going down, and these banishments have been absolutely devastating. Looking at that Slan Mage Priest, 113 kills on top of himself, and look at that, the Blessed Legion of Pekath taking it on the chin and taking a lot of damage. Yeah, balance of power really swinging out of favor of the Tomb Kings now. Vicioussatsuma shall concede defeat there, and Soothsayer going to get a quick 1-0 lead. You know, nice start from the Tomb Kings, I have to say. I think they did a good job buying plenty of time initially there, but unfortunately, I just think there wasn't enough. Let me think of this. I think in hindsight, one halberd and more skeleton warriors or skeleton spears, just to have more numbers, might have been more beneficial here. It just seems like the main weakness this Tomb King army faced wasn't you know, their ability to kill Saurus warriors. I think the Tomb Guard and the Ushabti worked nicely to deal with them, but it does seem that they struggle with the flanks because the Lizardmen here just had so much more infantry than the Tomb Kings. And as you saw throughout the battle, it just looked like the Skink cohort, the spears, all of these units on the far flanks of the Lizardmen formation were really able to just kind of overlap the Tomb King lines, pressure the flanks, and the Tomb Kings just didn't have enough units in the back line to really appropriately address them. So I feel like he was kind of caught up playing a game of whack-a-mole. His infantry and Ushabti were doing well in the combat they were in, but meanwhile in the back lines, his archers were getting compromised and stuff like that. So great first game though, and I'm excited to see what happens in round 2. Big shout out to Soothsayer there. Tlaxtlan Mage Priest of Life got some sick banishments down. So here it is, the Void of Hell Fen. We're going to be seeing Tlaxtlan Soothsayer with the Vampire Coast, bringing it against RTK, Vicioussatsuma, and the Greenskins. Now this is round 2 between these two players, and it is currently match point for Tlaxtlan Soothsayer. So let's go ahead and get into the map and see what happens from here. Now, starting with the Vampire Coast, led by Vicioussatsuma. Going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 units of Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob. We're also going to have 1, 2, 3 units of Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob with bombs. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of handguns for that armor piercing, and look at that, a 4th bomb in the back that hasn't been deployed yet. Also going to be looking here at some Shade Wraith Deck Gunners, the ROR Deck Gunner unit. And then for the remainder of the forces, after I sneeze, excuse me, we are going to be looking at 2 units of mortars. And then we're going to have some Scurvy Dogs on the field, as any self-respecting Vampire Coast player should have. Scurvy Dogs, a must in my humble opinion. In my not-so-humble opinion, I should say. And then we're going to have some Fellbats up in the air here, along with our leadership crew, which is going to consist of a Vampire Fleet Captain with the lore vampires over here. We're going to have Invocation to Heck, Hornswaggle, or sorry, is that Taunt or is it Hornswaggle? I can never remember. It's Taunt. And the Drowned Dead, going to be on foot too, and it looks like deployed in a position where she can just kind of run up into the forest and stay hidden while being in range to cast down those Invocation to Hecks. Up in the air, we do have Luther Harkin with Hornswaggle and nothing else. So, aside from that, we have the Greenskins on the field, ladies and gentlemen. Vicioussatsuma, one of the best Greenskin players in the world. And we're going to see a front line here that starts with the 8-peak Looney sitting up there all by their lonesome. Going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 units of Savage Orcs. We're then going to have 5 units of Savage Orc Error Boys by the looks of it. In the back line, we're going to have another Savage Orc, the 5th one that I guess I missed initially, and some Stone Trolls. We're also going to have the Rusty Errors. Now, aside from that, we do have ourselves Goblin Rocklobber. We're going to have a Goblin Big Boss on a wolf here in the forest. He's going to have They Need Stabbing, and actually he's on foot. I lied. And then we have Wurzag on foot. God bless you, Satsuma, dancing his way to the battlefield. Effigy to get Fist of Gork, as well as Gaze of Mork, Bonewood Staff, and Warpaint of Wurzag. Ugh, I love you, sir. I love you very much, Mr. Wurzag. Over here, we're going to have Mogrim's Mangy Marauders. And then we're going to have 2 Vanguarded units, one being Forest Goblin Spider Riders, another being the Durkit Squig Hoppers in the forest here. Now, other than this, we have a single Night Goblin Shaman. No surprise there. I don't know why you'd have more in an army. Going to have Vindictive Glare and Wand of Jet. So, Greenskins hiding a lot of units here. Hey, Mystical, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. So, we'll see who is forced to come forward first. Both the players do have some artillery. The Greenskins, Rocklobber. I imagine we'll be able to get some value here. We'll see what targets they go after first. Over here, Fellbats and Luther Harkin doing some scouting, and they did discover the vanguarded Greenskin forces, so those Greenskins are going to start pulling back now that the jig is up and everybody knows they're there. So these mortars are down to 2. I'm guessing I missed a Vindictive Glare that eliminated one of them. Mortars are going down and they're targeting the Goblin Rock Lobbers. Getting some decent connection so far, already bringing them down close to half health. Not eliminating any of the artillery models, but still getting some good value. Goblin Great Shaman going to be firing away. We'll see if he can destroy another model. It looks like he will have no such luck. This second mortar is going to still remain online. And the mortars are going to continue firing away, trying to knock out this Goblin Rock Lobber. Another Vindictive Glare going down, and this time just hitting Luther Harkin, getting some nice early chip damage in. Every little bit counts when you're going up against somebody with that HP pool. And a Lord is notorious for staying alive as Luther Harkin. He's one of the tankiest Lords in the game for sure. Alright, that should rout the Goblin Rock Lobber for a moment. Oh, looks like they may keep their composure just barely. And they're actually going after the Shade Wraith Deck Gunners. Vindictive Glares continuing to pop off. Not sure what the target was that time, but it looks like they missed it, whatever it was. Goblin Rock Lobber continuing to get pummeled by the mortars, but I have to say, for as long as the mortars are shooting that Rock Lobber, I consider that value to the Greenskins, just because, I mean, as long as they're not shooting all the archers with those mortars yet, that's buying some time. But now that the Goblin Rock Lobber is routing, I'm curious to see if the mortar's going to start decimating a lot of these Greenskin archers now. Shade Wraith Deck Gunner getting Vindictive Glared and Gaze of Mork shot down at him, taking some significant damage, and the Greenskin archers also chasing back some of the gunnery mob. Handgunners have pushed into formation and are opening fire as the Greenskin line closes the gap. And the Savage Orcs are surging forward. Gonna make very quick work here of the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob, I'd have to imagine. And my biggest concern for this Vampire Coast army right now is very curious to see what their plan is going to be if the Greenskins, you know, full-on rush out of here to get into combat with them. I think the bombs are really what they're banking on, but it's 5 Savage Orcs, and that means the Vampire Coast really has a very small margin of error in order to successfully kill off this many Savage Orcs with bombs. However, handgunners are definitely doing God's work for the Vampire Coast right now. A lot of damage going down on top of them, but the Greenskin archers eliminating one of these bombers right now by the looks of it. And we'll see what happens from here. Goblin Rock Lobber is offline, shattered. And I'd like to see these Forest Goblin Spider Riders maybe maneuvered somewhere else to help out a bit. But look at this, the Dirket Squigs getting on top of these bombers. A very nice pickup. Their speed allows them to close the gap quickly enough where the bombs can't really cast. But look at this, Scurvy Dog's going to dive in here with the counter charge, hitting them in the rear, and it looks like a second unit of Scurvy Dogs is coming in to support. And that may be the end of the Dirket Squigs unless they can get some support from other Greenskin forces. Stat. Uh-oh, look at that. 2 Savage Orcs routing, one of them very low on health, another one routing. And now suddenly the Vampire Coast is looking like they're pulling it off. What I said was going to be very difficult for them to do, it seems like they are doing. And balance of power starting to reflect it too. Looks like we're going to be seeing another Gaze of Mork, or no, sorry, Vindictive Glare going down after Luther Harkin, but he's going to successfully dodge it. Greenskin archers are starting to take some damage, but Looks like they're desperately trying to knock out these zombie pirate bombers before they can close the gap. And if they deal with that bomber, then they've dealt with all 3 of them by the looks of it. Or sorry, they've dealt with 3 out of the 4 of them. And that would definitely be a nice pickup for the Greenskins at this stage of the game. But looks like their army is starting to have leadership issues. And, yeah. Oh, wait, but look at this. Stone Trolls coming in. Perhaps going to be able to support the Durkit Squigs against all of these scurvy dogs. But it looks like they're actually going to ignore them for now. And try to continue shutting things down in the back line of the Vampire Coast. Stone Trolls making a mad dash for Forest Goblin Spider Riders, making a mad dash for this handgun unit. And now the Scurvy Dogs, though, with an invocation from the Heck, have successfully defeated the Durkit Squigs and are chasing them. And those 2 Scurvy Dogs are going to be a pain in the ass for the Greenskins at this stage of the battle, because that's the mobility that's going to allow them to just continue chasing off Greenskin units here and addressing the mobility concern. And yeah, from my read of this battlefield right now, it's going to be an uphill climb for the Greenskins to bring it back. Savage Orcs getting back down on top of these handguns. There goes a Vindictive Glare on top of Luther Harkin. Can't really tell how much damage it's done so far, since he does have that regeneration in combat, which I imagine he's been using quite often. The balance of power is not looking good for our red player here. Vicioussatsuma needs to get something going very quickly, otherwise the gun lines of the Vampire Coast look like they're going to win the day. Greenskin leadership squad still very, very healthy, though. Empire Fleet Captain healing himself up. Looks like another Vindictive Glare going down, this time on top of that Vampire Fleet Captain. That does a lot of damage. Effigy to get is popped down on top of that Vampire Fleet Captain. We'll see if a Gaze of Mort comes down here, and there it goes. Not a direct hit, but still doing some good damage. But even with the Vampire Fleet Captain, if they can kill him off, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Both mortars are still firing. Shader Deck Gunners are still firing. And the Greenskin range units have been dealt with. And yeah, there he goes. Vicioussatsuma going to concede defeat. An admirable effort and some really good plays from him. I absolutely love Vicioussatsuma. He's another one of my favorite players. He just has a very unique play style here, and no shame in losing to truly one of the legends of the game, Tlaxtlan Soothsayer, pulling it out 2-0 there. An absolute beast of a player, and clearly very eager for a shot at revenge against Falcon. So, Vicioussatsuma, a huge shout out to him. Give him some love in the chat, guys. Going to be getting $50 for his participation in today's tournament. And now it's time to see between Soothsayer and Falcon which of them walks away with $200 and which one of them walks away with $600. Quite a big difference there. And yeah, give some love to Satsuma. He's one of the great players, and I'm very happy to see him doing so well, getting this far in the Season 6 playoffs. But we're going to be seeing Falcon taking on Tlaxtlan Soothsayer now.